Hello, hello, this is Simone. Today I am here with a video for the Shimmerz Education Team. Don't forget, if you order from Shimmerz, to put my name in the comments and you will get a surprise paint. Let's start with the video. So this is one of the first scrapbooking layouts that I actually created in the beginning of 2015. I think I made this in January. And I used a sketch to create this, and I didn't really have that many scrapbooking supplies. I had some Studio Calico kits that I purchased in the Black Friday sale, and then I used a sketch from a German scrapbooker. She does 7 days, 7 sketches. And when I recently flipped through my 12 by 12 album, I discovered this layout. And the worst thing about it, it wasn't the design per se, because that's okay. What I really just did not like and still don't is the craft paper background. And so I decided I would take it out of my album, but I really liked the Make Magic. I think that is a screen print, and I also actually like the design of the layout. So there was nothing really wrong, and there is a story to tell. So I didn't want to just take it and throw it out. So I decided I would take the things off that I liked, which is this, and then go from there and see what I can do and make with it. So that's the base that I'm working with. I wasn't sure if I was going to keep this, vertical strip. It was in the sketch, but it was very bold, and also I didn't like the way I added my journaling. There's something about the journaling and the lines, the spacing of the lines, that I really have a hard time when the spacing is off. And yeah, I really like when it looks more handwritten and not as neat, strangely. And so what I did was I took that off as well. So I'm left with the photo strip, the paper that is behind, or that the photo strip is matted on, the title, a little bit of red washi, and that big red Make Magic screen print. So that's where I'm starting, and I chose that. This is a Cocoa Daisy paper. It came in there June with the Tide kit. I really like their subtle backgrounds right now. They work really well to put on mixed media, and I didn't go with the blue one because I already have a lot of blue, and I wanted to use blue Shimmerz paint for the mixed media, and so I decided to go with the what would you call that, salmon colored crosses. It's actually crosses on there, and I'm really going very simple with this. It's just spray and splatter some paint onto packaging and smoosh it onto the background with the packaging technique. Not really very elaborate, nothing. You can try that too. It's always a surprise for me how it turns out. And what I'm partial about the packaging technique. I don't like, maybe I need to practice some more. I don't like that when the paint on my paper is still wet, when I add the packaging again, all of these really nice texture that was on there already, where the color is pooling. I really like when color is pooling, and the different shades and layers, they just get smushed together. And so maybe I need to dry that in between. And since I didn't really, I wanted to have more color, and I didn't want to have didn't want it to look the same everywhere. And as I just told you, I have a problem with adding more packaging technique later on. I just used my paintbrush and added some different colors later on. So now that I'm done, or I think I'm done with the color, I am going to work on matting my papers and looking at the design. What I quickly found, I really liked that red brick. It reminds me of brick houses in Europe, and this was at the Children's Museum in Munich, which is close to the main train station, and often train stations were made from brick or red brick. So that I really liked that, and I had a lot of red in it. There is a red wall right behind my son on the far right. There is the big Make Magic one, and so I really wanted to have another big element of red in the layout, and that was just perfect. And I wanted to add it to the right side of my photo strip, but there wasn't enough space. So I cut down one of the photos in the middle and matted it onto this. Again, it's another Cocoa Daisy paper, and I had accidentally spilled some mist onto the paper, and so that's where I placed my photos. I wanted to have the paint splatters show on top of the right side of the photo strip. I think you can see that right there above the red wall. And now this edge distresser tool is something that's new in my stash. You probably have this from when it was totally in style to distress your papers. People don't do that very often anymore, but I really do like it at the moment, and so that is what I did to the papers. And as you can see, or as you saw, I ripped this using my ruler, but the edges were too big, so I cut it down even more and used my edge distresser. And now I'm debating whether I'm going to use the title that I colored using Shimmerz, the original Shimmerz paint that is not dry. It's the best paint ever. So you know me, I tell this to you every time I make a Shimmerz video, that I was very partial about the shimmering elements in the paints, and that the beginning when I started with Shimmerz, I went for the Coloringz because there was no glitter in there. And now I'm absolutely and totally obsessed with the original Shimmerz paint. It's a thick paint. It is shimmery. It has the perfect consistence, in my opinion. I love using it, and I really want to do some hand lettering using these Shimmerz. I will link the blog post that I'm writing for this layout in the description box below, and I'm also going to add all the names of the colors that I have been using in the description box and also in the blog post, and we'll link to the colors in the Shimmerz shop. Interestingly enough, I have been using the chipboard stickers from the Shimmerz, and also the sticker book from the Shimmerz Go Now Go collections. It is a fall collection, but the colors really worked with the colors that I had that were the dominant colors in this layout. And so I took off all the stickers and phrase stickers that I liked, and I am going to create the title, the Kindermuseum title, which is the German word for Children's Museum. And as you saw, I used the Shimmerz to paint the title. I wasn't sure if I liked it like that. When I looked at it afterwards, I thought maybe I should have taken gesso first and then used the Shimmerz. But then the Make Magic is so dominant, I didn't really want a title that was competing with the the focal point of this layout. And I really love how the Make Magic works with this. It is, we went to the Children's Museum and they had a special exhibit about soap bubbles, which was fantastic. And it felt like magic. And even though there is so much to learn about soap bubbles, which the exhibition lacked a lot of, there is so much math behind this, and it would have been a really great way to teach the kids about all of this, which the exhibition didn't. But that is how it feels. Soap bubbles are magic, and that's the main focal point of this layout, because that's how they are. And so even though the title is not the standing out and not the most dominant part of this layout, it's okay for me. So why do I say this? Because I really let me think and let me rephrase this. So I took this washi tape off the page. So I'm really repurposing lots of these things that I had on the old layout, and I really like that I do that. I didn't want to create a new layout. I just wanted to get rid of the craft background. So just from the design perspective, I really want a title to be a title. That means that when you look at a layout, this is the first thing that you see, or it is one of the first things that you see. And once you read the title, you know exactly what this is about, or you are intrigued and pulled in to read the rest of the story. And then I would like the rest of the layout to work in favor of the story and the photos that I'm using to tell the story, so that nothing else is taking over or taking center stage behind the photos and behind the story. Even though sometimes the design is very dominant, I really want it to be a cohesive piece, and I wanted to help it tell the story. So that's where I'm coming from every time I create a layout. And I think this is what this layout is doing. I have the Make Magic that pulls you in. I have it anchored. Compared to the other layout, the Make Magic was detached from the photo strip, which isn't my style anymore. I think it was the very first layout that I created, so I didn't really find my scrapbooking voice yet. And so I really like connecting items and connecting elements. I like to nestle them, and the Make Magic being this bold thing, having it connect to the photo strip and actually like pointing down towards the title is what pulls you into this. So the Make Magic stands out most. It points down towards the photo strip and the photos. You can see where we are. We are at the Children's Museum. You can look at the photos, and if you're still not sure about what this is, then, or if the story interests you, then you can go ahead and read the journaling, which talks about exactly what I was telling you, that we loved going there, we loved the hands-on experiments, but I wished they had taken the opportunity to dig deeper into the math of soap bubbles, because there's actually a lot of math in soap bubbles. Did you know that? I do. I don't understand it though, but that's what I know. I created another embellishment cluster right on top of the boldest photo of all of those, the one behind the red wall. I really liked yeah, adding another splash of color. I loved the ink droplet there. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to recreate it, and unfortunately my photo strip covered it up. And then I am journaling. I added some word phrase stickers, the get lost on purpose, and another one is take it all in. I really liked how that referred to the museum and the fun we had. And then I'm calling this layout done. No, I'm not. I felt like the layout was very heavy on the bottom and it was very empty on the top. And this is something that I have seen Missy Whitten do recently. She is just doing this all the time, where she rips papers and backs it with other pattern paper. And this is a piece that was on the original layout, and I liked having that on the top right corner to balance out the layout. And now I'm fuzzing a little bit with some of the washi tape. I thought it might work up there, but I didn't find a place to put it, and so I'm ditching it later on. I'm happy that I'm done with this layout. I got rid of the craft cardstock. It is still similar to the original layout. I was able to salvage most of the things that I had on there. It is more my style, my scrapbooking voice now. And now I'm asking you the controversial question. How are you dealing with layouts that you just don't like? Do you just ditch them? Do you keep them for posterity's sake to document your scrapbooking progress? Please leave a comment in the description below, in the comment section below, and I will see you next time. Until then, bye!